All right, good peoples. Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation at you Wednesday morning, February 12th. Just got the declarations for YieldMax Group D, and I just did my estimate yesterday. So take a look here on your screen, and you will see the actual. I'm going to make that yellow right there. And then you'll see my estimate. Okay, and what I did was I coded my estimate green, red, or white. White means I nailed it, green means I was over a plus, and red means I was under. So, but what you care about is these numbers. So the big pair was MSTY at 202.16. I had 229. And YQQ, which almost nobody owns. I'm sure there's some assets under management. I had 31 cents. They came in at basically 25 cents. I had a high one for Amzy based on some weekly synthetic win that they pocketed. So obviously they didn't pay all that out. So Amzy paid basically 55 cents, 0.508. I had them at 85 cents. Because you look here, most of it is high 60s, mid 70s, $1.17, high 80s, a 40. So I thought they'd be well back up there. APLY, I had them only at 24 cents. They came in at 36.25. I had AIYY at 44 cents. Moving up, they've been paying in the 80s, 70s, and a 36 and a 37, so they hung right at 37. Okay, and if you need to know, here's your yields, and the yield is based on the closing price yesterday on 211.25, if you're wondering. And then I say monthly change because most of these have a monthly number, but a lot of them at the bottom have weeklies. And you guys are aware there's a whole bunch of new ones coming here, right? SDTY, RDTY, and I think QDTY are all coming, but they didn't declare this time. So let's continue. So AIYY, I mentioned DISO. Look at that, 45.74. They did have a 46.51 and a 73 or 70. So they're climbing back up. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. I had them at 63, so over, and a couple of unders, right? What I should do is add up both sides of the actual and see. Uh, but anyway, it's fun. I gave my logic when I did it. SMCY. I shouldn't say I knew. I projected they would pay higher than MSTY. I had MSTY at 229. It came in at 202. Over, I had them at 245. They came in at 209. So nice payday for SMCY. So getting into these aren't as hard to predict, YMAX and YMAG, because we just go look at what all was paid out the week before in the groups. And YMAG only being 7, we pretty much knew it was 5 cents. Was it 0509? So white means I nailed it, right? I didn't give myself credit for this one because it could have been 15 and a half, could have been 16. All right, so going forward, Lethargy paid a little less than I thought. I had 63, paid 56. It had been paying 70, 60, 60. Now, these are going down, right? But on this one, on Gapudi, I had them going up at 39 cents. They only paid 29, right? And as you guys know, this is the AI and tech portfolio. Lethargy is the crypto and tech portfolio. All right, so you can look to SDTY, which will be the S&P 500, the 0 DTE covered call. That should probably pay next week. then followed on by the QDTY and the RDTY, which is the NASDAQ 100 short-term weeklies, right? So it's a copycat of Roundhill, and Roundhill is a legitimate player there. So if they can do 80, 90% of what Roundhill is doing, that'd be terrific for YieldMax itself. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Nothing magic here. Let me check one thing. If I wanted to tell you something, yeah, let me add these and see what I get. Okay, well, it didn't like something about that. Z26 to Z37, that's the problem. 774, and what was my estimate showing? Oh, yeah, I was almost $1 high in total. You see all the green, only one white and two unders. Well, I'll take that into consideration. I hadn't done any estimates for a while. All right, people, that should cover it. You got your Group D led by the big dog MSTY, and actually SMCY outpaid them and out yielded them. Let me go over those for just a minute. So we had basically 100% yield for MSTY. That's nothing new, right? It did go down $4.37. So based on the previous, is that the, I don't know. No, that is a positive. AC26. Yeah, it's actually gone up. My bad on that. That doesn't change anything else, but I'll do this. A sum. That's the problem when you don't sum them. Oh, I didn't even use the value here. Oh, that is true. Okay. So I take it back. I had something different in here. That's the change in just the 1 month period. This is looking over in the 6 months for all the returns. So no problem. That's legit. All my numbers there. So guys, again, I'll spend just a minute or two or 30 seconds. So you've seen these, but anybody that hasn't, I need to do 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, because we're long in the tooth on the 6 months. But what I did was I took the price over here. Now, obviously, on these new guys, it's not relevant. They just came out January 15th and I think January 23rd. But most of these, not everyone, because here's a fund right here that doesn't have every SMCY, right? Doesn't have a September actual. So it's not fair to some of them that have paid 5 months and everybody else has paid 6. But I tried to take that into consideration. At least you get an idea. Obviously, MSTY's a winner, right? It's NAV from 7/2/24, which is where I took all the dates when I could. If it doesn't go back that far, then I take it at its inception. Okay. So these guys are 53 and $50. They're now trading at 48.02 and 48.37. 6. So they're falling, in particular Leveragey, right? It's almost down 10% and it's NAV and it's short life and it's paid a 484 yield. So it's in the negative. Now guys will tell me, "Oh, Bruce, yeah, I got it at a great price." Now, these were up. I remember when they came out at 53 and they were like 58 very quick. So all of these things can change. So obviously, YieldMax has good yields. I mean, look at MSTY over this last 6 month period. It's got an 85.31 yield and a 25.75 NAV. So together, your total return, and you, in theory, can double that because that's over a 6 month period. Okay, but likewise, look at YQQ. Great yield, right? But whoops, that's a positive green then. Not sure. AE and AF. Oh, there's something wrong there. Sorry about that, guys. Uh, that should just be whatever the January. I'm going to plug something in quick and then I'll fix it. All right. Yeah, I didn't think YQQ has done that well. Yeah, 17 and showing a 955 yield. Um, they did a 25 this time. I'm just showing 30 cents, and I'll go out to YieldMax and I will fix that. This is also then a red number. All right, so you get the idea. You always want your positives. So who are your positives that stand out no matter what your time period, although this is a 6-month time period? Well, right here, squeeze that green here and green here. You can't get any better than green and green, right? Because when you get NAV erosion like this, here's AIYY over 6 months, it's had a huge 57% down. Okay, it's got a decent yield. I mean, that's a 40% yielder in a year. This is a 70% yielder. And this is a 2711 on SMCY, but it's still underwater, right? This was a fund that came out and was over $50 and is now trading at 26.9. It's paying a hefty amount, right? It's like Ulti and like some of these others. You watch them and you say, hey, they pay a lot of yield, but their NAV's been eroded. But then if they stabilize and build a base and look like they're going to more likely go up than go down, and they're still paying 60, 70, 80% yield, that's when you want to buy it, right? That's when you want to own some multi and some other things. So it's not all negative NAV erosion, but how do you manage NAV erosion, right? It's just like MSTY. You don't go out and pay $45 for it with your only purchase and set on it. When it's at 26, even with these fantastic yields, you feel bad, right? You feel like a loser. Well, it's 40, it was 45 what I paid for it. That's $20 in payments, or call it $19 that you've lost in payments, right? Well, that's maybe, what have they paid in 6 months? 1785. But if you truly bought it at 45 and you had it at 26, by the way, 45 is like up in the high, right? Then long term, if it continues to do well, you're more than going to break even. But you always want a DCA. You always want to average in these guys, right? Or reinvest dividends. That's another way to do it. Not everybody can do that. Some people are using that income. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. That's enough. So YieldMax Group D, you've got the actuals. All right, have a good one. Again, Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. See ya. Bye for now.